Hi there. You've just landed on Mythology is Cool, the channel where we dive into ancient myths with the same passion the Greeks had for stirring up drama between gods. Today we're talking about her, the most dangerous woman in history. And no, it's not Hades' mother-in-law. It's Medusa, the queen of visual terror, the empress of the deadly stare, the only woman who doesn't need arguments in a debate. One look and boom, you're a statue. But was she really the villain of the story? Or did she just need a good therapist and a little bit of respect? Before you stare into those eyes, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Because here, even Gorgons get a chance to tell their side of the story. Have you ever stopped to think that Medusa wasn't always a monster? That's right. Not every creature is born with snakes for hair. In the earliest versions of mythology, Medusa was basically a supermodel of the archaic Greek era. She was stunning, the kind of beauty that causes chaos. Daughter of the primordial gods Phorcys and Ceto, Medusa was mortal, which was rare in that family, known for its long line of immortal and monstrous relatives. While her Gorgon sisters, Stheno and Euryale, were born terrifying, Medusa had everything going for her. She had beauty, youth, and the kind of hair that even mythical Instagram would envy. But like every beautiful woman in Greek mythology, her fate followed the same pattern. Be admired too much. Catch the attention of a problematic god. Be punished for it. Yep, the classic Greek tragedy script. Enter Poseidon, god of the sea, and of the oversized ego. He saw Medusa and, like a true Greek god, couldn't resist turning admiration into possession. And the worst part? He did it inside the temple of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, who was also famously committed to celibacy. Now you might think,
oh, but he was a god. Maybe it was a romance?
nope. Older versions try to dress it up as some flowery seduction scene, but later accounts are clear, it was assault. And brutal. And what did Athena do? Call the mythological police? Exile Poseidon? Of course not. She took all her fury out on Medusa, the victim. She transformed the young woman into a hideous monster, with snakes for hair and a gaze that turned people to stone. It was like saying, "You were assaulted in my temple? How awful! Here, become a demon. Lesson learned." A hard mythological truth. Those who suffer, often suffer again. Medusa turned into a mix of snake, wild boar, and a nightmare from a sculpture student's final project. Sharp teeth, a hanging tongue, a wildly disproportionate body, thick legs, and bulging eyes. Basically, a monster custom designed to terrify the senses. Oh, and it doesn't stop there, snakes were also her belt. Because if you're going to lose your hair, might as well lose your fashion sense too. She was exiled with her sisters to a cave far from civilization, completely isolated, as if she were the problem, not the society that had wounded her. And while her sisters went around mutilating and killing, Medusa was gifted with something special, the petrifying gaze. A power that may have been a curse, sure, but let's be honest, if you've ever dealt with someone who says, "I just want to talk," maybe you've also wished for that gift. Cut to Perseus, son of Zeus, because of course he is, it's always Zeus. The hero was sent on a mission clearly designed to fail, kill Medusa and bring back her head. Why? Because King Polydectes wanted Perseus out of the way so he could marry his mom, Danae. Classy. But Perseus wasn't clueless. He had help from, like, half the pantheon. Athena gave him a mirrored shield. Hermes lent him his winged sandals. The nymphs gave him a magical bag to carry the head. And as a bonus, he got Hades' helmet, the one that makes you invisible. Yep, Hades is basically the Batman of Olympus. Oh, and he also had to steal the eye from the Gree, 3 old ladies who shared one eye. That's right. Mythology plots are like reality shows, there's always room for one more bizarre twist. Using the reflection in the shield, Perseus decapitated Medusa while she slept. No eye contact, of course, no one wants to end up as lawn decor. Even after death, Medusa kept bringing in the engagement. Her head became the most useful weapon in all of mythology. It turned the Titan Atlas to stone, yep, the guy who literally holds up the sky. It saved Andromeda from a sea monster. And it became decorative armor on Athena's shield. Ironically, the very goddess who cursed Medusa thought it was a great idea to use her head as divine protection. Like, I don't like you, but I'll wear your face to all my war parties. Medusa's image started showing up on armor, temple doors, and mosaics, all to ward off evil. In other words, the victim became an amulet. The trauma turned into a symbol of strength. As modern-day coaches would say, turn your pain into power. In Medusa's case, into a literal weapon of mass destruction. Over time, Medusa stopped being a horrifying monster and began to take on more human traits. Artists started softening her features. The fangs disappeared. The hanging tongue vanished. All that remained was her intense gaze and her fashion-forward snake hair. Little by little, she stopped being a fright and became a symbol of resistance. Today, many see Medusa as a feminist icon, a woman punished for being a victim who turned her pain into power. After all, who hasn't wished they could turn an abuser to stone with just a look? She represents righteous rage, the response to trauma, the silent scream that became a statue. While Poseidon keeps riding the waves of mythology, Medusa became the symbol of something far greater. The right to exist, even after the violence. So tell me, was Medusa really the monster in this story? Or was it the mythological culture that blamed the victims and rewarded the aggressors? If you think Medusa just needed a good therapist, drop a comment. If you think Perseus had good intentions, comment too, but we will judge you with a stare. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because here, we turn stone into reflection. See you in the next episode of Mythology is Cool, where even monsters deserve a plot twist.